Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Logan, and today we're going to be taking a quick look at a couple of pretty special projectors sent over to us by Nebula, who's actually a brand of Anker, which makes some really high quality accessories for portable devices, like battery banks and chargers, stuff like that. And I'm really excited to check these out since we've never actually had a chance to review any portable projectors here on our channel before. And one of them, the little compact Capsule 3 right here, is actually a special Transformers Edition, which I'll talk more about in just a little bit. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, then stick around, and we'll get into it right after the intro. Alright, so as I mentioned, today's video is going to be all about these two projectors from Nebula, the Cosmos Laser 4K and the Capsule 3. Now both of these are actually some pretty cool DLP laser projectors for watching movies and TV shows just about anywhere, but the similarities between these two pretty much end there. So let's get started with the Capsule 3, and this model we have here is actually a really cool Transformers Collaboration Edition, so you can see on the box here it looks pretty distinct. Getting inside, you'll have some pretty nice box art along with a little box that houses the 2.4 GHz remote, along with a pair of batteries and a quick start guide. But of course, the real star of the show here is the Capsule 3 itself. The Nebula Capsule 3 is a soda can-sized, battery-powered 1080p DLP projector, and Nebula promises an output of 300 anti-lumens, which is actually pretty impressive for a projector of this size, especially when you consider that it can give you up to 2.5 hours of battery life on a single charge. This comes down to the efficiency and light output of the built-in laser light source, which, when compared to an LED, can give a lot more light output for the same amount of wattage, and the laser's output is much closer to being monochromatic. So rather than having an LED, which might make a wider spectrum of light that needs to be filtered into red, green, and blue, all of the laser's power goes into one color, which is then shown through a color wheel to get the purest colors possible with the best saturation. And of course, all types of solid-state light sources, whether they be LEDs or lasers, are going to last way longer than the conventional bulbs you'll find in projectors like our old Panasonic. And they don't have any kind of a warm-up period or anything like that either. That also keeps this projector super compact. Weighing in at only 2.1 pounds, it really isn't all that much bigger than a can of soda. And this is the first projector we've ever looked at that I would say makes a great travel companion. Even a lot of portable monitors take up more space once you consider the extra padding and protection you might want to keep them in if you're lugging them around all the time. And of course, as you can see, it also has this really cool red and blue Transformers design silk-screened onto the anodized aluminum shell. The Capsule 3 has been available for a little while in this regular black design, but this special Transformers design is actually the product of an official collaboration with Hasbro, and it's limited to a production run of only 4,000 units. So if you want to get your hands on this specific model, you'll have to work quick. We'll leave links to where to buy it down in the description. And whether you're buying the Transformers Edition or the regular black edition of the Capsule 3 within the month of April, Nebula is also offering a $120 early bird discount, so check that out if you're interested. Booting up the Capsule 3 is as simple as hitting the power button on the back, and once you've gone through the initial setup to connect it to your Wi-Fi, log into a Google account, and install updates, you'll be left with a very standard Android TV 11 interface, which can be controlled using the included remote or with the capacitive touch buttons on the top of the projector. One thing that we were really impressed with during our testing of the Capsule 3 was its automatic focus and keystone adjustments, which run every time you reposition the projector. We usually recommend avoiding 2D keystone if you can, since it digitally alters the projected image to fit on your screen, which can lower image quality. But in this case, since the Capsule 3 is a portable projector that you can actually move around, it makes way more sense here, and if you're projecting onto a good surface from the recommended 5 to 12 feet away, it works shockingly well, and we rarely ever had to adjust anything about the image manually. That said, if you hit this button on the remote here, you can also tell the projector to run an autofocusing keystone whenever you want. And if you're not happy with the results, you can quickly hit the enter button on the remote to go into manual keystone mode and adjust each corner of the image to your liking. In terms of image quality, the 300 anti-lumens might sound pretty limiting, especially when we're used to checking out projectors like the Epson LS12000, which is 25 times heavier and has a rated output of 2700 lumens. But the Capsule 3 still held its own in terms of brightness and image quality, especially when it comes to colors. Obviously, this is going to depend on how big you have the image, but projecting an approximately 90-inch image onto our white projection screen material, colors were actually pretty saturated given the brightness, and we were also surprised to find that dark scenes didn't just completely get crushed into oblivion. And we believe a lot of this is thanks to some fancy digital processing being done to the image to improve the projector's contrast, even with such a low light output. Obviously, it doesn't compare to the brightness of a regular projector, but you can't just pick up a regular projector and throw it into a bag either. Just the fact that you're getting such a reasonably capable projector at this size that can run off of battery power is pretty impressive in our opinion. The speakers on the Capsule 3 also left a pretty good impression. I'd say they're maybe on par, if not slightly better, than the speaker built into an Amazon Echo, which are more than adequate for the use case. Nothing really stood out to us. Obviously, there's not a huge amount of stereo separation since both of your channels are in this little pod, but considering that the speakers we usually review here on this channel are several magnitudes bigger than the Capsule 3, we'll give it a pass. One last thing that I did want to test was the Capsule 3's HDMI input, which of course would let you connect any regular PC or game console with an HDMI output. When I first tested it with my Dell XPS laptop though, it ran into this really weird delay that made trying to do any actual work really difficult. There was easily 200 milliseconds of latency, if not more, and it made anything from typing to playing games almost nauseating, since you're seeing the response to your input so incredibly late. Thankfully, this was pretty easily fixed by going into the projector's picture settings and enabling game mode, which turns off the 2D keystone and some image processing, which did wash the image out a little bit, but in turn made the lag way better. And I have absolutely no problem using this projector to play even racing games, which could actually be really fun on a big screen. And that's pretty much it for the Capsule 3. If you want a versatile little Android TV portable projector that can also do a good job playing games and can basically go anywhere, I really do think it's in a category of its own, and I've never seen another projector or portable display, for that matter, that does it this well. With that said, Nebula also sent over the Capsule 3's big brother, which, as I mentioned earlier, is the Cosmos Laser 4K. Some of the key differences here are obviously the size. The Cosmos is way bigger than the Capsule, and of course it also has a 4K DLP chip rather than smaller 1080p DLP chip of the Capsule. The Cosmos 4K is also a portable projector, but it takes a different approach. It's using a similar laser light source, but rather than 300 anti-lumens, we get brought all the way up to 1840 anti-lumens. But in exchange, we don't get a built-in battery, since a battery that could power this laser for any meaningful amount of time would probably be way too big to fit inside the casing of this projector. But the Cosmos 4K does include the impressive autofocus and auto keystone that we saw in the Capsule 3, as well as a fully featured Android TV interface with official support for the Netflix app, which is really good to see. The Android TV portion is actually its own little smart box here that just plugs into these two cables behind the plastic cover on the back. So if anything ever happens to it or you want to upgrade it, the option is right there. Since the Cosmos 4K doesn't have a battery, you do have to plug it into wall power, so this is a little bit more of a stationary setup. But in exchange, you get an amazingly bright and vivid picture. Out of all of the projectors we've reviewed here on our channel, we think this one has to take the cake for having the best image quality right out of the box without any user setup, and that convenience is worth a lot. The Cosmos 4K looks genuinely amazing. It reproduces HDR content very well thanks to its great light output, and colors were very vibrant while being well balanced and realistic. We actually feel like the image projected at 85 inches is pretty darn similar to our 85-inch Sony X900H TV in all but the blacks, which of course is always going to be pretty difficult for a projector this bright to do as well with. And again, being a portable projector, the Cosmos 4K really isn't all that big or heavy considering the image quality we're seeing here. Coming in at only 10.7 pounds, it's not all that much bigger than a small toolbox, for example. And of course, with this bigger volume, you'll get a lot of other nice features, like some really impressive speakers that actually filled the room with surprisingly crisp sound that never felt either muddy or harsh, and even a little carrying handle that makes this nice and easy to move around. I should also mention here that both the Cosmos 4K and the Capsule 3 have these little 1/4-inch mounting threads on the bottom, so you can just put them on a regular camera tripod and they'll work completely fine. So that's what we did to demo these projectors. But with that said, I think that's pretty much it for both of these Nebula projectors. I had a great time testing these out and seeing what they had to offer, because they're actually really cool. As someone who's really only considered big fixed projectors for an image, I'm really impressed with what these portable projectors had to bring to the table. If you want to get one of these for yourself, you can go ahead and use the link in the description to check out Nebula's website and learn more about each model. Nebula is also offering a huge $600 discount on the Cosmos 4K for the month of April using code CosmosLaser at checkout, so if you're interested, definitely make use of that offer. But with that said, I think I'm just about done here, so let us know what you think. Are you interested in buying a portable projector like one of these? And if so, which one are you considering? Let us know down in the comments. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss any of our future content. And as always, have an awesome day.